Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to your reading for the weeks covering August the 20th through September the 2nd, 2024. This is a reading if you're a Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius Moon, Sagittarius Rising, or have another significant Sagittarius placement in your chart. If you're new to this channel, welcome. It's good to have you. And if you're returning, welcome back. This will be a astrological spread, a 12-card horoscope spread with another one in the middle. This is the way I like to read because that way I can look at all aspects of what's going on in your life and not just one thing like career or love or something like that. And I use Murray Hope's Way of Cartouche deck, which is the one that you see down here. And then I will clarify with the tarot deck. This week I am using the Mystical Cats Tarot. And I always do an extra oracle card pull at the end. And this week it is going to be with the Archangel Fire Oracle. Now, in addition to tarot videos, I do 6 signs per week, every other week. So your sign will be up. There's a 2-week period of time. And so each sign gets done every couple of weeks. And I also have my Morning Coffee with Breach, which is a live stream that I do on Instagram. And I actually will post the videos from that live stream here to this channel. And I also do a daily tarot reading with those. And in addition to that, I also post my channelings with the Archangel Azrael and other things related to my spiritual coaching business. If you want to know more about the work that I do, please check out my website in the description box below. And that's where my social media links are also there. You can find those if you want to check that out, if you're not already a watcher of that channel and that live stream. Okay, so what I want to do is get on with talking about your reading for this week. I like to start with Cartouche and then clarify afterwards. So right now, yeah, I feel like you've been through a little bit of a challenging time, Sagittarius, or at least you feel like maybe you're waiting for something to happen. Because with Pyramid at the center of your reading, there's a sense that there could be some challenges, there could be some new things, that there's an initiatory quality to Pyramid. So there's this idea of kind of being in a new and unfamiliar space and trying to figure things out. But it can also just be about things that you have been working on that take time. Now, for some of you, this is going to be a relationship because I see Ta in the 5th house and I see Earth in the 7th house. So it's quite possible that you're involved with somebody who is an Earth sign, maybe a Capricorn with Ta, but with Earth, it could be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. It doesn't have to be any of them, actually, because this could just literally be about, this is all about building the temple of something brick by brick, okay? Ta is the master builder. And Earth has to do with that which we plant the seeds and we wait for something to grow slowly. So these are in the relationship houses. So those of you who are looking for love, now this could just indicate you're looking for somebody solid and grounded, okay? That maybe if you've had some flaky people in your life, that maybe you're saying like, okay, I want somebody who's, kind of, down to earth, very solid, very practical. But I feel as a more general piece of advice, it has more to do with the idea that a relationship situation may be growing, maybe becoming more solid. So it's not going to be something that is a fly by night, quick pass through kind of a thing. I feel like you may be looking for something that's a little bit more secure. When I see Saturn energy in connection with relationships, sometimes for some people that can indicate love that comes at a later point in life. Now, mind you, if you're younger and you're watching, like if you're under 30, 35, watching this reading, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to wait till that age to have love. Although for some people, depending on what's in your chart, if Saturn has a strong influence on your relationships, then it could either mean that you're not really very prone to having them, or it could indicate that you are to settling down or anything like that. But it can also just mean that you're waiting for somebody either older, maybe a little bit more mature, or more experienced, maybe the more correct word there. And, maybe something that is, something that, again, after you've had more life experience and more things going on, there's a strong vibe of that with relationships here. And at the very minimum, I would suggest that it means that there's a growing situation. Now, if you're somebody who's already married and in a relationship, then this just indicates a very practical, solid kind of relationship. Or it could also be with Earth here that finances might be in focus. On the business side of things, if any of you are starting a business or in a business, Earth here could indicate a lucrative business partnership. Though we have Nephthys in the 3rd house, so if this is a new partnership, don't sign any contracts yet. Like wait until we get out of Mercury, a little bit safely out of Mercury retrograde, which ends August 27th. So I wouldn't do anything before then, certainly. But Nephthys can also indicate communications and things, stuff that is coming in that you're not expecting here. So you may end up hearing from somebody that you don't expect with Nephthys in the 7th house. There could also be something going on for people who have siblings. If you have a sister, this could be, there's strong sister energy connected with Nephthys. So I don't know. It's next to the wing disc in the 4th house, which is the house of family. So I feel like there's, I don't know, maybe some of you, if you've had an argument with a sister, maybe you're going to overcome it and it's going to get better. But, you know, there's definitely, this is definitely a sense of victory after having obstacles or just having success in a particular situation. Wing disc definitely brings clarity and sunshine to the situation. It is the sun disc of the god Ra. So it's, yeah, so there's definitely the sense of, in your home environment, something being overcome or surmounted. This could be a financial thing. This could just be a family disagreement. It could have something to do with your physical home as well. So take it as it resonates there. But seeing this here, yeah, Nephthys in this 3rd house, I almost feel like there's also a sense of delay. For people who are not with a sibling thing, you say, no, that doesn't apply to me. There's a sense of delay with Nephthys. There's a sense that you are, that there's some kind of communication you're waiting on, or something having to do with business or business success. This is the house of self-effort. So there's something that has not happened yet. And again, with seeing all these cards that have to do with stuff that's slow growing, practical, taking time, and with Pyramid here. Now you do have Scarab in the 2nd house of money, so this does seem like there is some kind of new beginning with money. And again, for some of you, this could be a new business partnership. But whatever it is you might be waiting on, there's still like a not yet element to this with Nephthys. Like the change is coming, but it's not quite here yet. So I do feel like you're gonna get to where you need to get to. You have Isis in the 1st house, so this usually happens when we either need to forgive ourselves or we need to have some kind of self-care. Isis is a card of compassion and showing compassion to others, so you may be presenting yourself that way. And people may be coming to you, maybe you're somebody people vents their problems to, or maybe you've just been in a more empathetic mindset with people. But this also reminds us that we need to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves and that we have compassion for ourselves, especially if we think we've made a mistake in something. Now, this is interesting. You've got fire in your own house, which is the 9th house. That's the house of Sagittarius energy. And with fire there, you could be very inspired by doing something new. 9th house is about long distance travel. It's about higher education. It can also be about spirituality. Some people could have spiritual inspirations. Some people could be very, very jazzed up about like a new class or taking a new idea, or even maybe teaching something, or maybe a long trip that's coming up. So so fire there seems to indicate there's a lot of inspiration. Fire can also be something where we are sort of burning up rubbish, like getting rid of past things that don't matter anymore, connections and things. But there feels like there's a lot of inspiration in your own exalted house of Sagittarius. So that actually looks very good. Okay, you've got air in the 8th house, which is the Scorpio house, and this has to do with transformation. Very strongly spiritual house, very deep, having to do with beginnings and endings. Now, air would point to beginnings, new beginnings that are happening very swiftly. Now, air is a little bit more detached. It's a little bit more Aquarian, maybe. I don't know. It's a little bit more intellectual in its energy. So it's not necessarily, so it's funny, it's a bit of a lighter card in a deep house. So it could indicate that there are changes that are coming in quickly, but these might not be particularly deep changes. So just certain quick changes that you'll go through, but they may not represent these kind of profound, deep insights. Although there may be a lot of thought about this kind of stuff recently, especially seeing fire over here in the 9th house. Air in the 8th house, though, can also indicate messages coming in from spirit. So if you're inclined to think that you maybe a recently passed relative or something is trying to tell you something, or your spirit guides, air would indicate that, yeah, there seems to be some kind of a spiritual message coming through about changes that you're going through. Now, here's another interesting thing. You've got the twins in the 6th house and the Ankh in the 10th. Now, I associate both of those cards with love and romance. They don't have to mean that. They can just mean, for instance, the twins could be a partnership at work, or working with somebody, because this is the house of service. This is Virgo. So this is almost the idea of, it almost supports the idea of a business partnership over here. And Ankh could have to do with doing something that you're passionate about or doing something that you love, because this is the house of Capricorn. That is your, I guess the term they would use is your personal legacy. So it has to do with your career, your reputation, what you are known for, whatever that is. And being known doesn't mean like you have to be like a world celebrity or anything. It could just mean whatever it is that people look to you and say, oh yeah, that person, that person does a good job at this, or this is the thing that you're really passionate about doing. And I don't know, maybe that's why you have fire. Maybe you're starting to do something you're passionate about. Maybe this is requiring travel or new learning of some kind, new training that you're very excited about. But it can also imply here for some of you, perhaps, that there could be a romance that's connected with your career. Because we're seeing the twins here and we're seeing the Ankh, and that suggests to me something connected to work where there's also love. So take that as it resonates. I don't know that that's a message for everybody here, but there definitely seems to be a significant partnership here with connection to your work. This could also have to do with health for some of you, because the 6th house does have to do with health. So maybe some of you are working with a personal trainer or a nutritionist or something like that. I mean, that's always a possibility here as well. We have Hathor here in the 11th house, the Aquarius house. So Hathor is about, well, certainly, first of all, it's a strong feminine energy. And I think it's interesting that you've got Ta, which is sort of the masculine soul element, and Hathor, which is the feminine soul element, and they're both opposite each other in this house. This is the Leo house of recognition. This is the Aquarius house of friendships, social networks, and also your goals. So there's kind of this male-female dynamic that's going on here. So I feel almost like there's this balancing of masculine and feminine energies, and that this is coming through your interactions with other people. And so this, I feel like, this may be more of a love thing for some people, because the 5th house has more to do with love affairs. It can also have to do with children. And this has more to do with friendships and people who are in your network. People on social media, things like that. It does seem like there's a strong feminine energy or presence here that is important, or at least that these certain aspects of your life that might be connected to the feminine. Hathor generally has an earthier feminine vibe, more like somebody who makes a house a home, for example, or somebody who is learned in what you think of as domestic things like sewing, cooking, interior decorating. I'm not saying that this person necessarily is that. Hathor can also do with a woman who is a very shrewd businesswoman, who's very organized and efficient and knows how to keep everything together. So, both of these energies are possible. Ta, as a masculine energy, has more to do with building and craftsmanship and building things that you do with your hands. But it can also just indicate a man who has the finer qualities of masculinity, or somebody with a very masculine kind of soul. I don't necessarily like to say, oh, that's the man, that's the woman, because masculine and feminine energies can be, stronger or weaker in different people, irrespective of biological sex. So take that as it resonates. Yeah, and you've got Crook and Flail here in the 12th house of Pisces. So I feel like you might be at a space right now where you are, I don't know, there's definitely a strong sense of self-discipline with this card. There could be a raise in status. Maybe you're concerned about the visibility of something that you're doing. Maybe because things are moving very slowly, you may think, like if you're starting a business, maybe things haven't taken off yet. You maybe have a new financial beginning and you're saying, okay, maybe you even have a new business partnership with somebody. Maybe you're concerned about whether or not this is going to be visible, whether you're enough of an authority at whatever it is that you're doing, or whether or not you're going to, that's going to take off at all. So interesting so far. Let's see what the tarot has to say in connection with this. Okay, you've got the Two of Earth in the 1st house. So that suggests to me juggling a lot of things. You may be balancing more than one thing, and that may be why you have Isis here. Maybe you're dealing with your own stuff plus somebody else's, and there's a need to have balance here. Certainly, balance does seem to be an element of this reading. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Okay, we're seeing the World with the Air card up here, and that would suggest that something has come to a conclusion. Could actually also imply that there's going to be a trip or a journey of significance there. Well, that's really interesting. You have Hathor here, and then you have Hathor on this card. So that's really, really interesting that came up that way. Oh, and I need to get the center card. I didn't do that. Oops. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So let's see. So yeah, I think there definitely seems like you're putting a lot of effort right now. You've got a lot of water energy in these areas that are connected to your money and to your work. You've got Fire Tom up here, which is the Knight of Wands in the 10th house. So I feel like you are jazzed and ready to go for something, like something connected to your career or towards something that you've been wanting to do. With Sea King here in the 2nd house, there's definitely a strong emotional component here. I feel like this is also the house of your values, so I feel like there's there's definitely this sense of looking for emotional satisfaction with regard to your finances or your security, that has become kind of a priority. And the fact that you have the Sea Queen over here in the 6th house, Sea King and Sea Queen, that does almost imply a love thing for me, for some people. That you're working with somebody or meeting somebody when you're working on something. That kind of work doesn't always have to be like what I do for money. It can also have to do with something that you're doing as a service to the community. You know what I mean? It could be connected to that as well. But I'm seeing this energy, this new beginning, this relationship, and then the Sea King and the Sea Queen, which are like the King and Queen of Cups. And so to me, I don't know, there seems to be maybe there's somebody who is a romantic partner, or maybe your marriage partner, who is somehow also has this connection to business or your career, or maybe it's something that you're doing with someone. That definitely seems possible here. You've got the Sun with Hathor here. Okay, and as I said, this is this shows Hathor. Maybe it could even be more of a Sekhmet image here too, because they're sort of two sides of that. But there's this, you see the cats all laying in the sun. The sun indicates something warm, sunny, and positive. So whatever this feminine influence is here, whether it's a woman or whether it's just that aspect of your personality developing, the sun, again, that's actually Leo energy. We've got that Leo energy here. It's basically the idea of you being seen. It's a very positive thing, and it's about clarity with regard to your goals. So maybe there's going to be this feminine figure that is going to provide some clarity on where you're going, being this is also the house of your manifesting your wishes. It seems unconsciously you've got this Sky King. Okay, we've got a number of court cards here, which is interesting because these can indicate people that are coming in. Because you've got Sky King and you've got Sky Queen. So this is definitely more intellectual energy. This is definitely, as you can see, the cat sitting out in the cold. It's less emotional, and it's more, just the facts, please. Let's make the decisions based on the cold, hard facts. And overall, with the Sky Queen, that may also be the way that you're looking at and approaching things. You're trying to take a realistic approach where you're putting emotions aside. And that's interesting because you've got so much connected with business here. I mean, you've got the Sea Tom here too. Yeah, this is the Knight of Cups showing up with Nephthys here. Somebody definitely has business ideas or something, or collaborations with somebody with which there's also a romantic interest. But it's almost like saying you're kind of trying to balance that right now with trying to keep a practical way of thinking, trying to keep your head on your shoulders and maybe not get carried away in something emotional when making decisions about stability and finances. Now, interestingly, you've got the Ace of Wands here with the winged disc in your home sector. So I don't know, maybe this is a new thing. Maybe you bought a home with somebody, and you're starting a business together. Maybe I don't know. There's just something here about you being in partner with somebody. There's a definite love connection to the finances and work here. And this does suggest a new beginning, an impassioned new beginning. And with winged disc, that suggests to me that you are, that you've made some kind of a move either to establish your security, or perhaps you've actually literally moved house or made a change to your house that is that is part of something that's exciting and new here, with this Ace of Wands energy showing up here. So there definitely seems to be a strong passion around around building security and such. Now this is interesting because on the relationship front, remember I was pointing to those very earthy Capricorn, slow but steady kind of energies. Yeah, it implies to me that people who are looking for love, you may be dealing with somebody right now who's undecided about how to move forward. We've got the Two of Sky here, or Two of Swords. So there may be decisions that need to be made. But again, there's this idea of building something slow and steady. You do have the Death card over here with Earth. Now, of course, Death is Scorpio energy. but it could indicate that there has been some kind of a change recently. And now, okay, that adds another element to it, that if there's people, say, who are recently divorced, maybe there's a money thing that's coming up with regard to Earth, because to me, Death card, and you follows by the World, so I do feel like something may have come to an end here. It could be a job that's come to an end, it could have been a business partnership that's come to an end, or it could just be that it can also have a transformative quality to it, because I'm seeing certain things that are stuck, but ultimately, oh, okay, wait a minute, this is what's kind of coming into my head. Maybe there's somebody you're involved with, maybe somebody else has been in the picture, or maybe, they could be somebody who's getting a divorce themselves or something like that. Maybe it's somebody you've met at work, okay, that could be. But there's basically, it's like this could be an ending that you're waiting for. You could be waiting for somebody to disentangle themselves from somebody financially or otherwise. Now, if you're already married, then I would suggest that this suggests that some kind of an ending happening within your relationship, but whatever that ending is, it's either something that's bringing financial stability, or maybe there's been more of a focus on stability and security. Okay. And again, for some people, it could mean a divorce and money involved, but I'm not seeing that very strongly here. So I don't know. But obviously, if that resonates for you, then that might be the message for you. Yeah, you're definitely at the end of a cycle here with the World here. You're at the end of the cycle. And with air here, I feel like there are messages coming in about that. And it may be just something that happens very quickly, but may not be as heavy in the implication or of how it feels than maybe it feels right now. You have the High Priestess with fire. So High Priestess is generally that which is unknown at this point. It can also mean studying something that's unknown. Again, the strong feminine energy akin to Isis here. Maybe some of you are doing a deeper exploration of spirituality of some kind. Doesn't have to be traditional spirituality, even though the 9th house tends to be thought of as the house of faith. It can be anything from the Catholic Church to a Wiccan coven. I mean, it doesn't have to be one particular type of spirituality, but this suggests to me moving deeper into things, developing one's intuition, and again, or maybe just getting very, very involved on a particular spiritual path, or even just learning about things that are a little bit more, I guess the term would be esoteric, and not maybe that are less practical. Whatever it is, you seem to be very fired up for it. But if you're not actually doing that, then this would certainly be the idea of kind of moving into an unknown space, like trying to pull the veil aside and see or know something that you are not, at the moment, may not be clear to you. Okay, so like I said, we've looked at all these things. I would say that overall, I feel like there's some kind of a change. Somebody's met somebody at work, or is decided to get into a business partnership with somebody. Maybe somebody's made you an offer. It does seem like there's a chance something has ended and there's a chance for new security and a new beginning. You may be busy with a lot of things, but I feel like there's a balancing of the heart and the head here. You're trying to balance between those two things, and trying to make good decisions that are, I think it's saying, make sure that when you definitely need to look at the practical side of things, but make sure you don't, you take into account where your emotions fit in. I don't know. There's something here but there is something here that is stuck. I don't know. This could have to do, in addition to having to do with a love affair, this can also have to do with a child or a creative project. So if some of you are working or something, there could be a stalemate, or there could be decisions that have to be made here as well, if you feel like the love narrative doesn't really fit. And again, because it's a general reading, it's not going to be a one-size-fits-all. So, so our extra card is Melchizedek, which is from the Archangel Fire Oracle. And it's interesting because Melchizedek is the central figure of Rahani healing, which is actually one of the things that I offer. Melchizedek has to do with ascension, and his message is, "Beloved, this message comes with confirmation that you have been initiated into the order of Melchizedek, an etheric lineage of ancient souls who are returning to Earth to assist with the ascension. I am with you always." Okay. Now, I would say more generally, from what I know about Melchizedek has more to do with the solar plexus area, with the inner sun, with our sense of confidence. And it's funny, though, he's coming up in an area of initiation. So I don't know. Maybe some of you have learned a new healing technique. Maybe some of you have learned Chthonia. I don't know. It's quite possible here. But Melchizedek is the one who's the, they call him the overseer. And basically, there's this idea of moving us into a new space. Now, I have always been somebody who's not been a fan of the term ascension, even though I think I get what it means. I feel more like you're moving into a new space. Spiritually, you may be moving into a new space. You may be getting involved in new relationships that are going to change the nature of your work. Like you're expanding your horizons here. And I feel like Melchizedek represents that expansion. I mean, again, if some of you are practicing Chthonia or something like that, and you do have Ra here, you do have right below him, so that could literally be true for some of you. But I really feel like this, for most of you, this is about finding your balance. The solar plexus is your inner sun. That's your inner fire, and that is the center of your confidence, of what you project out into the world. Usually one of the weaker areas that we have, because that's the one that's the hardest to negotiate between, what we feel our identity is and how that interacts with the outer world. But yeah, this is definitely, I feel like there's new love, new opportunities coming in here. Or at least the opportunity to do something you love with people you care about, whether it's romantic or not. There does seem to be a lot of passion about some kind of a path of service or something that you want to do. Love itself could be something that's on more of a practical level, growing slowly. And like I said, maybe there's some changes that need to happen before it gets to where you want to be. But overall, I just feel like you are moving into a happier, sunnier kind of a space. So, so right now I would say overall, you just want to think about keeping things in balance, whatever it is that you're trying to learn and push forward with, whatever path you're on. I think it's a good one. Pay attention to messages from your guides, and like overall, there's just a sense of be patient. You may be in the process of learning something entirely new that has the potential to take you where you want. So I hope this reading was helpful for you, Sagittarius. If you did like this reading, do give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified about these videos. Have a great rest of your August, and we'll catch you again in September.